setting forth the great vows. Dharmakara addressed the Buddha. I hope that the Blessed One, of great benevolence, may lend his ear. Were I to realize supreme Bodhi, and become a Buddha, my Buddha field would be replete with an immeasurable and unimaginable array of virtues and adornments. There would be no denizens of hell, no hungry ghosts, no birds, no beasts, no crawling, flying, and wriggling creatures. All beings, including those ensnared in Yama's realm, within the three evil paths, would be reborn in my land, and be transformed by my Dharma. All would achieve perfect Sambodhi, never again descending into evil destinations. If this vow is fulfilled, I have become a Buddha. If it remains unfulfilled, I have not attained supreme Sambodhi. Were I to become a Buddha, all beings in the realms in the 10 directions, reborn in my land, would possess bodies of pure gold, and the 32 marks of a great man, a uniform appearance, upright and pure, so long as there are differences in form and appearance, and the concepts of beauty and ugliness still exist. I have not attained Sambodhi. Were I to become a Buddha, beings reborn in my land would be aware of the good and evil actions committed in their past lives. Over innumerable eons, every being would possess piercing vision and penetrating hearing, knowing the past, present and future affairs of all in the 10 directions. If this vow is not fulfilled, I have not attained Sambodhi. Were I to become a Buddha, all beings reborn in my land would possess the ability to read the minds of others. If they cannot read the minds of the sentient beings of 1 trillion Buddha lands, then I have not attained Sambodhi. Were I to become a Buddha, all beings reborn in my land would have mastery of supernatural powers and every perfection. If in the duration of a single thought, they cannot travel far and wide throughout 1 trillion Buddha fields, making offerings to all Buddhas, then I have not attained Sambodhi. Were I to become a Buddha, beings reborn in my land would abandon false distinctions and remain serene in every faculty. If they are not guaranteed to achieve complete Sambodhi and realize great nirvana, the nirvana, then I have not attained Sambodhi. Were I to become a Buddha, my infinite light would shine upon all in the 10 directions and surpass the light of all Buddhas, 1 trillion-fold times brighter than suns and moons. If sentient beings were to see my light, and its rays were to touch their bodies, each without exception would experience peace and happiness, and develop a heart of loving kindness, with a desire to do good and be reborn in my land. If this is not so, I have not attained Sambodhi. Were I to become a Buddha, life would be everlasting. My land would possess a countless number of Sravakas and beings heavenly and human, all with infinite lifespans. Were the sentient beings of the Trikiliokosm to all become Pratyeka Buddhas, yet within 100,000 eons, their number could be measured, then I have not attained Sambodhi. Were I to become a Buddha, yet infinite Buddhas of infinite realms in the 10 directions do not extol my name, nor praise the qualities of my land, then I have not attained Sambodhi. Were I to become a Buddha, the sentient beings in the 10 directions who hear my name would develop utmost sincerity and resolute faith, Their virtuous roots would be fixed wholly upon, and directed toward, the desire to be reborn in my land. If even those who have practiced Buddha mindfulness as few as 10 times were not reborn, then I have not attained Sambodhi. This does not apply to those who commit the 5 great misdeeds or slander the true Dharma. Were I to become a Buddha, beings in the 10 directions who hear my name would develop the aspiration to attain Bodhi. They would cultivate spiritual virtues and practice the 6 perfections, resolute and unwavering. They would unceasingly direct their virtuous roots toward the desire to be reborn in my land. Day and night they would fix their minds upon me. When they reach the end of their lives, I shall appear alongside an assembly of bodhisattvas to receive them. Within the span of a split second, they shall be reborn in my land as never retrogressing bodhisattvas. If this vow is not fulfilled, I have not attained Sambodhi. Were I to become a Buddha, beings in the 10 directions who hear my name would fasten their minds upon my land and develop the aspiration to attain Bodhi. Resolute and unwavering, they would plant virtuous roots and fix their minds upon and direct themselves toward the desire to be reborn in Sukhavati. And all without exception would succeed. If those who, in past lives, committed evil deeds, hear my name and immediately repent and vow to do good in service of the way, and uphold the teachings and the precepts, and desire to be reborn in my land, then, at the end of their lives, they shall never again enter the 3 evil paths. Instead they shall be reborn in my land. If this is not so, then I have not attained Sambodhi. Were I to become a Buddha, there would be no women in my land. If, after hearing my name, obtaining purity of faith, and developing a Bodhi mind, women feel loathing and distress in the female form, and desire to be reborn in my land, when their end comes, they shall be transformed immediately into male form and be reborn there. Every being in the 10 directions who comes to my land shall be transformed and reborn within a lotus flower, in a pond of 7 jewels. If this is not so, then I have not attained Sambodhi. Were I to become a Buddha, beings in the 10 directions who hear my name would become joyous and resolute in faith. They would show reverence and bow before me. With purity of mind they would devote themselves to the way of the Bodhisattva. All heavenly and human beings would pay them homage. After hearing my name and reaching the end of their lives, they shall be reborn into a respectable household and possess flawless physical and mental faculties. They shall unceasingly devote themselves to a distinctly pure form of practice. If this is not so, then I have not attained Sambodhi. Were I to become a Buddha, vows, even the concept of non-good, would not exist in my land. All beings reborn there would be of one mind, together united on the straight path eternally, detached from anguish, with minds becalmed. They would experience joy, like a bhikkhu cleansed of all defilements. If discriminative thought still arises within them, or attachment to bodily form, then I have not attained Sambodhi. Were I to become a Buddha, those reborn in my land would possess infinite roots of virtue. All would attain bodies as hard as diamond, and as strong as Narayana. Moreover, a bright light would shine from the top of their crowns, all would achieve perfection in every form of wisdom and limitless eloquence. All would be talented at explaining the esoteric and essential elements of every dharma. All would preach the dharma and follow the way. Their words would ring like bells. If this is not so, I have not attained Sambodhi. Were I to become a Buddha, beings reborn in my land would ultimately be assured of attaining Buddhahood in a single lifetime. Except for those who take on the primal vow for the sake of all sentient beings, and don the armor of the universal vows to edify each and every being, so that they develop faithful hearts and cultivate the path to Bodhi and follow the way of Samantabhadra. Even if they are reborn in other worlds, they shall remain detached from evil paths. Whether they enjoy preaching the Dharma, hearing the Dharma, or developing psychic powers, whatever they desire, they may practice at will, assured of attaining perfection therein. If this is not so, I have not attained Sambodhi. Were I to become a Buddha, food, clothing, and every item of worship required by those reborn in my land would appear when so desired. All Buddhas in the 10 directions would receive these offerings as soon as they so wished. If this is not so, I have not attained Sambodhi. Were I to become a Buddha, all things in my land would be purified and adorned, radiant and beautiful, of singular appearance, the absolute pinnacle of elegance and refinement, entirely without equal. If beings, even though they possess the divine eye, are still capable of distinguishing and enumerating the varieties of beauty and radiance in my land, and describing in full their qualities, then I have not attained Sambodhi. Were I to become a Buddha, there would be an infinite variety of colored trees in my land, standing several hundred or thousand leagues tall, and Bodhimanda trees 4 million miles in height, from which all bodhisattvas, even those with inferior roots of virtue, would gain perfect understanding. Those wishing to see the adornments of every purified Buddha field would see them within the jeweled trees, like looking in a mirror and seeing their own face. If this is not so, I have not attained Sambodhi. Were I to become a Buddha, my Buddha field would be vast, adorned and purified, as bright and lustrous as a mirror, illuminating the immeasurable, innumerable, and indescribable Buddha worlds in the 10 directions. Seeing this, the hearts of beings shall be filled with wonder. If this is not so, I have not attained Sambodhi. Were I to become a Buddha, from the ground up to the void, there would be palaces and pavilions, ponds and streams, flowers and trees. All things in my land would be infused with an immeasurably exquisite fragrance, permeating all realms in the 10 directions. All beings who experience this fragrance shall devote themselves to way of the Buddha. If this is not so, I have not attained Sambodhi. Were I to become a Buddha, the great many bodhisattvas of the realms in the 10 directions, upon hearing my name, would attain the purified and liberating samadhi of universal impartiality, as well as every method of profound dharani, remaining within samadhi until they reach the stage of Buddhahood. Within samadhi they shall unceasingly make offerings to each and every innumerable Buddha, never losing concentration. If this is not so, I have not attained Sambodhi. Were I to become a Buddha, the great many bodhisattvas of other realms, upon hearing my name, would realize the Dharma of detachment from rebirth and acquire dharanis. They would be purified and joyful, capable of abiding in equanimity. They would devote themselves to the way of the bodhisattva and perfect their roots of virtue. If, at once they do not attain the three forms of acceptance, or are incapable of realizing the state of non-retrogression, then I have not attained Sambodhi.